All right, ladies and gentlemen, good Monday afternoon. Man, I haven't said that in a long time. We used to do afternoon trade briefs, like 1 p.m. So this is interesting. Thank you for your flexibility this morning. When I landed late last night from Oklahoma, I had to, I forgot I had a meeting up in Palm Beach at a place called Hanley, which is beautiful retreat recovery center up in Palm Beach. The county commissioner was there, a bunch of heavies from the state, and short story long, trying to get, like Stanford did in California, an ibogaine study. We're trying to do a Florida and Texas is doing the Texas ibogaine initiative. We're trying to do something in this place, this beautiful campus up in Palm Beach. Awesome, perfect for us and moving the ball forward. One separate complex or building housed mothers and their children, infants, mothers going through recovery. I mean, man, that'll tug at your heartstrings, right? We're going to talk about a market getting pummeled, but it can always be worse, folks, right? What do we say when markets go straight up? Okay. What do we say when markets go sideways? Okay. What do we say when markets implode? Okay. If you're bummed out, if you're getting destroyed, if any of those things are going on, you're doing it wrong, right? You should maintain an even keel at all times, right? Folks, markets go up, markets go down, and we're going to talk about that in a second here. But if you want to check out the retreat from this weekend, I dropped this link to this video. 5 no fallen heroes. Guys sat with the medicine, 16 total. Disabled veterans, seen wounds, unseen wounds. It was absolutely incredible. It always, it's part of my healing journey. So this was just incredible. Broken men who thought they were broken, right? Or men who thought they were broken. They're not broken. They're perfect. They're absolutely perfect. The external shell needs a little help. And that's what we did this weekend. So if you support our foundation, I appreciate you, because you helped save and change 16 lives this weekend. It's just so cool. It's like being a parent Christmas Eve, when I show up to these things, because these guys, like, they didn't know, most of them didn't know each other, but Thursday afternoon, they're all kind of hanging out, shaking hands, like, what is this? And by Sunday afternoon, with a big group hug, they're all best friends. They're all squadron mates, and just incredible healing. So, thanks for your support. You can watch that video there when you get a chance. Okay. Where do you I brought this out, was it last week? You got it, Scott. Do that credit card roundup. You know what? Thank you for that reminder. It's low. There's like 5 of you, Scott included, which is unsat. I'm going to give you the link to that. Round up your credit card, folks, to the nearest dollar, $5, and donate that to the foundation each month, man. It's on autopilot. You pick the amount, $25 a month. It goes, man. It's awesome. Where do we think we are, folks? Where are we? Let's get a investor survey. Where are TGO members? Where do you think we are on this right now? Fear, despair, which is 2 different things. Fear. Yeah. I'm liking this. Yep. I'm gonna agree here. We're probably around here to here. We're not at capitulation yet, in my opinion. Almost there. Some might be feeling this, I get it, but we're definitely not close to returning to the mean. This is so we're clearly, all of us are on the right, well, fear, capitulation, or despair. We're definitely not close to returning to the mean. But folks, remember this, copy and paste all of this and put it to the right, or look to the left. This is how markets work, period. This ain't new, folks. You showing up today going, holy shit, the Dow's down 800 points right now. When am I going to see a green day, right? If you're feeling like that, you don't remember 2 years ago. You don't remember 4 years ago. You don't remember Obama, was it 2010, 2012? You don't remember 2008. I was in the board of trade. I went over to the VIX pit at the SIBO when the VIX hit 95 or whatever it was during the COVID crash. Or not the COVID crash, the housing crisis, right? COVID crash. See, that's perfect. All of these market implosions have what? An incredible opportunity. I pounded this into the dirt last week. And if you haven't done this, well, thanks, Wiz, it's a little late. Well, unless you just became a member, you've heard me say this in the past. 50% cash. Why? For this. If you are 100% invested and you're long, you're getting destroyed. If you're 50% invested and you got a ton of cash, you can swoop in right now. Folks, this will turn. It's a fact. If you loved Amazon at 245 like I did, you love it at, or if you liked it at 245, you love it at 190. Okay? So let's just, we have to get centered. You can't trade emotional, folks. I get it. You're looking at a portfolio that's getting hammered. It's tough not to, but that needs, you need to debrief yourself, so to speak. If you're feeling, if your portfolio is getting hammered, of course mine is. My shorts or the double verticals are doing great, but still I got psychedelics, Amazon, JP, I got banks, everything's getting hammered. I'm okay. I am absolutely okay. If you're not okay, I'm begging you to do some self-reflection. You can't learn from this. Grab your trade journal and write this down. Huge lesson learned from the 2020, the Trump trade war crash. Oh, do you remember the last time Trump did all this stuff? What happened? What happened after Trump did all this stuff the first time? Rip your face off rally. So this is, I'll be honest with you, man, this is a lot of profit taking too. This is absolutely a lot of profit taking. We all knew we were up here on, I called it MacGyver market, string, bubble gum, and, I mean, look at this, folks. Look at this monster Fed and Democrat induced run. Anytime you take away the punch bowl, folks, I mean, I don't want to draw 4,600 on here, folks, but that's a big delta, to be honest with you. We're through. What's after a 200-day moving average? I can't remember the last time in my career I've looked at something below a 200-day average. I mean, during COVID, it blew everything away, obviously. But there's more pain to come. Okay. So I need to. So you've seen my switch, right? From after the election, bullish. Trump, defeat and regulation, blah, 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 bullish. He's a businessman. And then I started to question this time around. Trump the second ain't going for re-election. Clearly the guy's a narcissist. Clearly he cares about the stock market. He was tweeting about it the first time. Then I started to shift to, he might not give a shit about the stock market this time around. Did anybody see the president on Maria Bartiromo? He actually said, I'm paraphrasing, I don't give a shit about the stock market this time around. Wow. So I have gone from bullish after the election to neutral for this year to volatile to bearish for the next 6 months, not the year. Absolutely bearish. Okay. When you see headlines like this, is Trump trying to push the US into a recession? Wow. Okay. So, and I'm already writing my blog posts or whatever. I don't do blog, but I'm already writing what's going to happen. They're already prepping the battlefield, folks, right, for the recession. But I'm going to be the first guy to jump on social media and shoot videos about how Joe Biden changed the definition of the word recession. The best part about having double standards is you're always on the right side, right, Democrats? So they're double standard. They changed the definition of recession, but I guarantee you it's going to come back very, very shortly. So you can set your watch to it, man. And there we are on the lows of the day, 5,600. So the only reason the US economy hadn't collapsed, why? Unprecedented debt issuance, folks. This is just absolutely insane. Look at, put your partisanship away. Debt versus GDP, folks. I haven't drawn a line like this in a while, a gap. What do I put? Delta here. These lines should be pretty close together. Should. This is like a MACD right now. We have gone so far apart. We're bankrupt, we're broke. Fixing this is going to take a lot of pain. Can the guy just fix it through trade wars? I don't know. The new Canadian cuck is already blasting back, and the premier or whatever's the governor of Alberta, whatever it is, cutting off electricity to northern states and all sorts of shit. That I feel like 4 years ago, Ukraine. Every Ukraine part of the brief, how did I end it with? Say it with me. This is going to get worse. Hell, the Chinese just blasted Canada with some trade stuff. So anyway, we are in for a lot more pain. Now, of course, all the liberals and Democrats are going to froth at the mouth about Trump pushed us into a recession with all these government layoffs. If our economy can't sustain itself without massive government, a massive bureaucracy, we're in trouble. So the president hit the nail on the head during it wasn't a State of the Union, remember that, the joint session of Congress. He said, gonna have a little pain, little disruption. Well, Mr. President, I know you don't care about the stock market this time around. That's a lot of pain, and that's a lot of disruption. So regular America, look at that, man. Unbelievable. Things are going to get worse. Okay. Excuse me. I'm American enough to be okay. We're going to weather it. I'm moving some funds around, moving some assets around so I can get in here and bottom feed. It's free money. We're not at a bottom yet, in my opinion. But when do you know there's a bottom? At a cocktail party, right? Listening to a guy like, oh yeah, I picked the bottom. No, you didn't. I did with the COVID crash, but that was easy because of Jerome Powell. But you only know the bottom in hindsight. This feels like the COVID crash, right, folks? Oh, this is the bottom. I'd buy here. Oh, I'd definitely be a buyer. Oh, remember all the smart money? I wrote a book about it saying buy it all the way down. Exactly, Pam. They don't ring a bell at the bottom or blow a whistle at the top. Okay. So we traded this the past couple weeks, like the snapback up here to the 50, and then once it imploded, it was violent down to the 200. Should is the key word. Should we get a snapback to this 200? We absolutely should. But this feels like, and selling gets exhausted, right? What's this? I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 bounce. 1, 2 bounce, 1, 2. So this is just extreme volatility. We're not getting one of these like multi-day rallies or multi-day implosions. This is volatile. So for every one of these, this is why last week, if you're just in solo Amazon, I think you got one of the trades. If not, you didn't get two. We had 2 burner trades for max profit, 160 and 120% or something like that. Why? Because of this up, down, up, down, up, down. So anyway, I hate trying to catch a falling knife, and we're clearly in solo Amazon. We're going to talk about that, but I'm going to start. I might do one. Well, we'll see. I mean, for now, we've at least found a bottom at around number 5,600, but we'll definitely talk in the primary tomorrow about a bullish double vertical, maybe, like we did last week. We did 2 trades last week, a day out, and they printed money. So more pain, in my opinion, is coming. him not caring about the stock market, right? Watch the interview with Murray. He's like, well, it's going to take some pain, and I'm really not watching the market. Whoa, the guy who used to tweet about the market, he's not watching it. So I got that wrong. I guess he is going to just not give a shit about the market and press forward. But it's a little dangerous, right? Why is it dangerous? Okay. Talked about that. I love the Treasury Secretary, man. He's a solid dude. And this was, I love this quote, on one of the Sunday shows. What I find interesting is that for the past year and a half and during the campaign, the media said, what? The economy's great. Everything's awesome. It's a vibe session. Now that Trump's in office, there's an economic problem. It took us 4 years to get here. President Trump has been in office 5 weeks, and I can tell you we're working every day. So I do trust, right? Look, there's going to be a natural adjustment as we move away from public spending into the private spending, right? The market and the economy have been hooked, addicted. I was just at an addiction center to excessive government spending. There's going to be a detox period. The most painful part, if any of you know, is the withdrawals, man, is trying to detox. That's what you're seeing here. Violent shakes. The market right now could use some ibogaine, right? So the detox is the worst part. So that's why I'm telling you there's more pain to come. Period. If you really want to see where their head is at, read this article. Let me give this to you because this is good. JG, the market is going down on what? Uncertainty. The few rallies we've seen, like back here, I think the Mexican lady and the Cuck Canada said, okay, give us 30 days. We'll try. We got a rally. We got a relief rally. So JG asks a smart question. What's going to make it turn? Certainty. Right now, market, what's the VIX doing? I didn't look at the VIX yet today. Driving back with my knees in my car. VIX, VIX. VIX, duh. Okay. Did I get logged out? Yeah. So the simplest answer is we need certainty. We need some sort of clarity. Doing here. All right. So markets go down on uncertainty, markets go up on certainty. We need Donald Trump, the new Canadian dude. I don't know who he is. I think he's a banker. We need them to be in the same room with, something good happening, right? So I don't see VIX. All right, so look at that, man. We are, again, I told you this last week. When the VIX is ripping, you don't want to step in front of it, but this better be on your idea board about getting bearish on volatility. When we bottom out and start rallying, we're going to see a collapse in volatility. So here's a trade on your screen right now. Get bearish on volatility. When? That's the key thing. I wouldn't do it yet. But the S&P, you ready for this? The S&P can keep kind of bleeding or maybe even bottom out, and we get a collapse in volatility. If we get some sort of certainty, talk to Canada, talk to Mexico, talk to China, things are getting better. Volatility will implode. The S&P might bottom out or get a relief rally. So it's a pairs trade right now on the S&P 500 on the VIX. Right now, do nothing. I'd wait until the turn, right? And whoever, I think it was Mike said that. Yeah, look at the VIX this time. This was a gradual freak out. Okay, this is, it might not feel like it to you looking at the S&P 500. This is an orderly increase in the VIX. Look at that. Boom. Oh boy. Look at this one. Boom. And then obviously we know the COVID crash back in 2020. That was straight up. Okay. So write this down. You got it in your trade journal. When, and I haven't said this in a while because the VIX has been dead. Zed's dead, baby. When vol is cheap, you buy it. When vol's expensive, say it with me, you sell it. But right now, I would not be selling volatility. Weird, you've heard me say this before. Wait until you see the whites of their eyes, right? The chart is SIBO. This is the VIX. That's, I don't know what you're seeing. Okay. This is also a problem. So Americans, folks, I'm not digging it. I'm not digging Trump with inflation. He's paying lip service to it. It'll come down eventually. Moving on. No, moving on, dude. You campaigned on the border and inflation. Okay? Border closed. Well done. We didn't need legislation. We needed a new president. Great line. Good soundbite. How about inflation? What are you doing? I don't need to hear the Treasury Secretary say we're working on it every day. What are your action items? What, besides drill, baby, drill, right? So he is on a extremely short leash. When people get their March 401k statements, they're going to be pissed, right? Only what, 5 to 10% of Americans have assets like this, right? A 401k retirement fund. Most people do not, sadly. He's going to start losing people. So he's got a, this is theta, folks. This is an option. We're long the Trump November, 28th right now. And we got a lot of time decay. He needs to start shaping up here because it's chaos right now with the trade wars and inflation. One problem at a time? Nope, I'm flooding the zone. I love listening to Obama 2.0, the minority leader. We're not going to, he's flooding the zone with everything every day, and we're not going to pivot from one thing to the other. So, Mr. President, if you're on this brief right now, you gotta focus on inflation, man. I talked to one of my buddies up on the street, and he's like, "Is Trump trying to do this to force Jerome Powell to cut rates to QE?" Right? I'm predicting right now either Trump fires Jerome Powell with a tweet or demands QE, right? Obama and all these other guys, you printed money out of thin air, but he can't. He's Mr. Stop printing money. He's Mr. Government fraud, waste, and abuse. So he's painting himself into a corner, folks. I want to be bullish on him. I want to believe things are going to work out. They always do. But right now, man, I'm not. Trade wars, I get. I have zero problems with fair trade. When people actually look at the math and they go, "Oh my God!" And how long have they been doing this to us? Yeah. Would you run your business like that? Most people don't. Most people are looking at the mainstream media headlines, right? Trade war and Trump's screwing everybody. No, man, he's not. So we'll see. Bruce, I hope you're right. Right? I mean, remember, the president has what is called the bully pulpit. He's kind of jawboned, oiled down a little bit, right? But it's not, it's not immediate, right? I'm old enough to remember Joe Biden emptying the strategic petroleum oil reserve. Nice job, Mr. President. What was the emergency? Oh, elections. Okay, dude. So, lot of talking here. What I'm getting at is it's going to get worse. It is absolutely going to get worse, and he's got a little bit of time, not too much more, especially that is ugly. Okay, we laughed last week about this. We patted ourselves on the back. I told you Walgreens was going out of business. It's going private, but essentially, folks, there you go. We launched Solo Amazon back here, and I said, started doing those brief. I said, get bearish on CVS, Walgreens. I didn't say Rite Aid because I didn't even know they were still in business. Rite Aid went Chapter 11 last year. There's Walgreens, price of Walgreens. Kind of like the Peloton stock at the top of the COVID thing. I'm like, pound it. Container ship collides with tanker hauling jet fuel off England's coast, sparking maritime disaster. We'll talk about this in primary tomorrow, but folks, we talked about getting bearish on the cruise lines, like long-term out into the future. A terrorist attack will happen on a cruise ship, period. The commanding officer of the Theodore Roosevelt just got relieved weeks ago or a month ago. Collision outside the Suez Canal. So a freighter can slam into a carrier. Wasn't a slam, but I'm telling you, you're going to wake up one day and a cruise ship will be on fire like this. I hate talking like this, but I'm Gordon Gekko right now. Thousands, you want to talk about terror? Is the sea like the Princess of the Seas capsizing and turning over from a terrorist attack? A business jet full of fuel that just takes off out of Opelika, Miami and flies right into the side of one of these things. I guarantee you it's going to happen. And I know for a fact that the Chinese, this is part of their war plan, is to target our carriers and everything like that with merchant vessels. Ramming speed, man, flank speed. You can't stop one of those things. You might pummel it full of missiles, you ain't stopping it. So anyway, we can talk about that in primary tomorrow. All right, here we go. Amazon. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Amazon, part of XL or XLY, we talk about sometimes, talked about putting a synthetic stock on, I think it was last week, on XLY. Why would I do this even more? Okay, I would do, and obviously it's not getting hammered like Amazon is, right? Because it's diversified in and of itself. But the XLY is now below its 200-day moving average. Why would I get long-term bullish on XLY right now? And I can't believe I'm going to talk about this, but Tesla. Folks, Tesla is a steal. It is down here at let's open up the chart here. Okay, look at that. We are in the spaghetti, man, where this thing used to trade. Does it have lower to go? I have no clue. Will it recover? Yes. I'm going to give you the speech that I gave you years ago that turned out at the beginning of that last monster Tesla rally. As a car company, what did I tell you it's worth? Say it with me. $100. I was right. It went down to like 102 or something. I was pretty damn close. As a car company, it's $100 is being generous. As a shrimp, our vehicle for eating cocktail sauce. As a vehicle for eating Elon Musk, you buy Tesla, period. Okay, so if you don't want to buy Tesla, but you like that commit criteria, XLY is the way to go. I'm not going to show you again. I already showed you last week the allocations in that ETF. XLY, the number one holding in the XLY is Amazon. The number two is Tesla. So if you want to get something at an incredibly insane discount right now, it is the XLY to get both of these things. XLY, Amazon. Okay. So, I was flying home last night doing my research, getting ready for the week. It's a solid company. Now, I get it. Can you believe people in this country and around the world, you want to talk about January 6th and terrorists and insurrections? Terrorists are Americans who blow up Tesla dealerships or light them on fire or attack the vehicles. That's terror. Can you believe they're attacking these Tesla dealerships and stuff like that? And all these idiots that have the bumper stickers. I bought this before Elon went nuts. Okay. So I would buy the XLY. If you're a gambler, which I'm not, one more time I'm going to say it, is Tesla at a bottom? I don't know. You don't know it's at a bottom until you look in the rear view mirror. But folks, well, Kevin, it's really funny that Tesla's, all the stuff that Elon does, it works on its own. I mean, he's the eccentric owner that blows in for a meeting and says great things and then blows out, right? To your point though, Kevin, what happened to Apple? Steve Jobs, visionary. Apple cannot survive without Steve Jobs. Oh my God, he's got liver cancer. Oh my God, he died. What happened to Apple? Pretty sure Tim Cook, I can't stand Apple, but I'm pretty sure Tim Cook did an okay job with it, right? So that's a good red team, Kevin, is, hey man, SPF, not for your sunscreen, it's a single point of failure. Whenever you have a cult of personality with somebody like that, it's dangerous. I think, in my opinion, if I was doing business consulting for Elon Musk, I'm like, dude, you got to leave. You got to go Jeff Bezos, baby. Still run it, but have a CEO, right? Andy Jassy is running Amazon. No, he's not. Jeff Bezos is. Good point. So it's a good red team, but I still, I mean, I think Elon's younger than me or my age or something like that. Guy's got the money to live a long life, unless, Kevin, somebody assassinates the guy. Have you seen his security entourage now? People are threatening to kill him. How dare you find fraud, waste, and abuse in our government? What? He's disgust. Who's that piece of shit senator from Massachusetts? His wife's made millions and millions of dollars from this foundation or charity or whatever she works for that he voted to fund. These people are filthy. This is why the swamp is furious right now, man. All the kids are losing their jobs, the girlfriends, the ex-wives, everything, man. So anyway, exactly. I got to tell you though, I'm not super Joe Tesla, but you know, there it is. There was my 100. I said, if you value Tesla as a car company, so I remember that. I was in Chicago. I'm like, oh my God, is it going to hit 100? I said it's $100. 102. So I was wrong. I'm going to claim I was right. Yeah, man, I'm hearing the same thing. The deep state is not too happy about this. I'm not too happy, and I'll be honest, man. Pam Bondi, absolute failure so far. Sean, thank you for having me for my 90th interview on Fox News. I got the Epstein files on my desk. They're disgusting. I'll be releasing them tomorrow. It's just gross. It'll make your eyes water. Wow. What happened? Oh, they released stuff that was actually in public record from a court case, from her court case 4 years ago, with more redactions. So the stuff released 4 years ago had less redactions than what Pam Bondi released. She sucks. So, Madam Attorney General, did you have the Epstein file? No, I found out from a whistleblower in the FBI field office that they have thousands of pages of documents. That's a surprise to you? That was a surprise to you. She's a failure. Where is the Epstein list? Now, of course, the people I talk to in DC, like, dude, it's already been scrubbed. It's the vast majority of heavies on Wall Street hung out with Jeffrey Epstein. Hedge fund managers, CEOs, politicians. So anyway, all right, flight schedule for the week. It really doesn't matter. Where's the president? I mean, he speaks every day, but what's this one? Did he speak today? What's going on? He speaks every day, but all right, well, yeah, his daily executive order press conference. Jolts, Oh, I forgot about the jobs number on Friday, but it's in the rearview mirror. It doesn't matter. They were a little soft. CPI. Here we go. So JG asked earlier, like, we're going to get a little bit of a turn. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, 3.0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 months in a row of inflation going up. That's me going, my God, the Fed needs to, say it with me, raise rates. Wednesday morning at 08:30, me leaving yoga, it's supposed to finally come down. Long answer to your short question, JG. This might be a turn. Let's talk through it real quick. If we get an increase in CPI on Wednesday morning, the market will implode. Trade wars, tariffs, inflation, oh my. I think Fred Sanford's having palpitations right now, man. If this unexpectedly goes up, and let me put my political hat on for a second. If you're in the BLS right now and your best friend who you drink with in Georgetown, who's a swamp creature, just got laid off, and you're an economist at the BLS, inflation ain't coming down anytime soon, folks. You're that jaded, Wiz? I'm smart and I'm a realist. So let's step through things. Inflation goes up on Wednesday. Look out below. Inflation comes in line. It'll be a non-event. Inflation comes in less. Well, less is forecast, right? We had 3. We're saying it's going to cool a little. If it comes in line, we might get a rally. But if I'd eat my hat if we see something less than what is forecast, right? Super light, that might be the turn, JG. Like, well, out of everything going on, out of all this insanity, finally inflation is coming in. Maybe Jerome, well, we already crashed 90 times. Yeah, I hate the airplane analogy, folks. It's so stupid, but you know what I'm getting at. So this is a big one. CPI, inflation. This is the Fed's gauge, man. CPI, PPI. Thursday, PPI. So, and then some University of Michigan, big blue liberal numbers. So Wednesday, Thursday of this week, folks, Judgment Day. If inflation is raging, we're in trouble. We're not in trouble. We can make money as the market goes down. The market is in trouble. Inflation this week comes in light. There's light at the end of the tunnel. We could get a snapback rally to the, I can't believe I'm saying this, to the 200-day. Okay. So if you're a betting man or woman, that could be a relief rally back to the 200. That could be double vertical time. Okay. Maybe as well. Now let's transition to Amazon here. But I'm going like a moth to a light for Amazon here. We are at the low of the day. Yeah, 5601, 5602. Man, 190. 190 resistance, 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 resistance. 190 is a critical level of potential support for Amazon. This should be exhausted, pretty damn close to exhausted selling in Amazon. This is all momentum. This is all emotional. They are printing money. The earnings up here were pretty decent. It was the forward guidance that the market didn't like. Okay. So under promise, over deliver. If Amazon report, It's obviously going to be estimated, but we're almost, I can't believe we're halfway through March. My son comes home from Air Force training Friday. Hallelujah. Been too long. But end of March, May, okay. January, February, March, April, May. I mean, those, you know. So if we get good Q1, better than expected Q1, meaning they warned. Andy Jassy said, we printed money, we're doing good, not so, the future's a little cloudy. Oh my God. So absolutely, Kevin. Folks, if you haven't put on your synthetic stock yet, I got one up here, I got one up here. This is a perfect entry point for synthetic stock on Amazon. I usually add to my existing synthetic stock, whatever strikes they were. But that's personal technique. You could absolutely put on new synthetic stock. I just like having my lines even and stuff like that. This, and you know, if you put on synthetic stock at 190, folks, kind of like down here when we hit that, we had that earnings and I said, sell the wife and kids, mortgage the house and buy Amazon down here. That is what I am saying right here at 190. Okay. We got the violent move in between the moving averages. Nothing lives in here. It's violence, straight down or straight up. Okay. Now we're through the 200-day. If let's step through a couple scenarios. Wiz, I'm not a knife catcher. I don't like trying to catch falling lives. Exactly. I do. Knives. Do nothing. Don't do anything. If you have an existing synthetic stock position on, sell some short calls. This could be a time, folks, and I got the CPI and PPI numbers on the back on my shoulder right now, so maybe don't do this. But look at the premium. Look at the premium in these options. The 195, look at the 200s, folks. $1, 50, 60. This is so cool. This is like being at NOAA, the weather service, and seeing a storm. You're in the Hurricane millibars. Look at the money calls. The 192.5's out to Friday. Look at that. 452. Holy shit. Now, I rarely talk about this. I mean, I mention it in academic training, but if you think Amazon has more to go, Wiz, I think you're right. It's not exhausted yet. We got a little bit more. You could sell an at the money call. That's obviously that's an aggressive tactic. You could sell. I mean, we are literally at 192.5. One more time, I've got to remind you, we have the inflation. We could tomorrow CPI light, or I'm sorry, Wednesday, CPI light, we're gonna have a rip and you'll get blown out of your short calls. So let me go back to step 0 right now. Do nothing. Go for a walk. Sometimes during markets like these, I'm done. I'm not looking at my portfolio for a couple weeks, right? Yeah, I'm not even doing the short calls. Why? I don't want to get frustrated. Wiz, I put on these 192.5 because I thought Amazon was going to keep going down. The CPI came in light. Amazon's up to $200. And don't forget, the math is usually okay if your short calls go in the money a little bit. You made more money on the synthetic stock going up than you quote lost with the short calls. However, if you have a big pop, training here. If we have a big pop in Amazon this week, light inflation, and you sold those 192.5 at the monies, you will probably lose some money if you get a violent move up on those short calls. And academic answer, you might be assigned early, right? So warning, Will Robinson. But I wanted to talk about this. Let's take CPI and PPI out of this. If we did not have those reports tomorrow and we're in a momentum thing, you could even sell in the money short calls. Extremely risky. You have got to know, and if you do know, give me some stock tips because I don't, that what? Amazon's going to keep imploding this week, dude. It's look out below. Look at the premiums at an in the money call. Is it dangerous? You're selling it in the money call, you might be assigned. Well, if it's going to keep doing that, you ain't going to get assigned. Right? What the hell's wrong with me? Does everybody understand that? I'm your flight instructor, so I'm covering these potential tactics. Would I do either of these this week? No. Would we have done it last week or the other weeks? Yeah, I think I got aggressive for the past couple weeks with short calls. I think these were actually a little bit of danger that no, it ended up being okay. All right, any questions with short calls for the week? You know what? I didn't even look at it yet. That's an $8 or $9 at the money straddle out the Friday, which is 16 bucks. $9. 9 and 9 is 18. Wow. So Amazon, with a very high probability, the market, not Wiz, who cares about Wiz? The options market is pricing Amazon below 201 and above 183. You could drive a truck through that at the money straddle. That's insane. But it isn't insane, Wiz, because the S&P 500, everything's imploding. Volatility is up. This is an option seller's paradise, okay? So, excuse me, with the inflation, I mean, only a couple things can happen. Inflation went up again with 6 months in a row. Holy crap, look out below. Inflation came in line, the market shrugged. All we care about is trade wars and all sorts of other crap. Okay. Wow. Inflation came in, the Fed's doing it. Rip your face off rally. Snap back to the 200, in my opinion. Okay. So step 0 for this week, man, I don't know. Thank you for all that, Wiz. I'm not doing anything. Cash is a position. No trade is a trade. Okay, so hang, go for a walk. Don't look at your stuff this week. Look at the CPI and PPI prints because it's going to be interesting. But right now, folks, just stay centered. Okay, let's go. So for me, Amazon, if you wanted, it would be new synthetic stock. At 190 is insane. The last time I said those type of words was Amazon at 152, right down here. And we got a monster, almost 100-point run. 190 should, I'm saying should, 1, 2, 3, almost 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 has been resistance. Will it be support? So I will say this, if it breaks 190, it's look out below. I don't even know where it goes under 190. There's nothing. So buyers should start stepping in. But I'm telling you, man, it's going to depend on mainly CPI, right? Producer PPI, yes. The Fed really cares about who? The consumer. It's mental. Inflation is mental. That's why sometimes the University of Michigan consumer sentiment or inflation expectations is a big deal, because the Fed's like, oh crap, we're doing all this work and the people do not feel like we're doing our jobs. Okay. Any questions on Amazon? XLY, since we have a synthetic stock, same type of mindset with the short calls. Oh, did you? Yeah, there we go. Usually aggressive in short calls. If I was assigned shares, short calls. Yeah, exactly. Somebody got assigned on, Bruce got assigned on some Microsoft and was fine with it. There you go. So, assignment, folks, knock on wood, the less than a handful of times I've been assigned in my life, the one was Amazon. I ended up printing money off of it. But don't go by that. Don't base that on luck. XLY, same thing with the short calls. If you, man, ain't no bottom anytime soon. What was the 200-day in XLY? So with these two names, folks, you know what? Maybe I will talk XPX. So 202. Let me drop a line at 202 for XLY. So we are underneath. We are underneath the 200-day on XLY officially. So same thing, same copy paste, not going to go into it. Wiz, we got lower. This thing ain't stopping its descent. Selling at the money call. They actually have at the money calls. They have the 198s. Man, there's a lot of premium in these too. 109s, $4. Well, one if you did synthetic stock and you have one contract, that's incredible. I love this stuff, man. I love seeing, and this is the other reason, folks, you needed a nice little cash pile to be sitting on, is because if your names are getting hammered and your margins getting eaten up, you needed some cash to be able to do what? Sell short calls. If you're skosh, if you're on fumes right now, you ain't going to be able to sell your short call. All right, what time is it? 2:50. Let me talk through this because I don't want to jinx myself. We've had a couple good weeks of SPX trading. Yeah. Where's my V constellation? Hello. So why the pause? I want to be wrong. I don't. I will be blown away if inflation comes down. I was getting ready to talk through a bullish double vertical out to Wednesday or Thursday, but we can dogfight. I just don't, I think it comes in line or hot, especially with all the trade war stuff, man. I just don't. I'm going by nearly 3,000 hours in the airplane, folks. I think we go lower. But one more time, this looks pretty exhausted here. That's 3 weeks of the market going down. If anything, here's what because look at this. Down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Oh, sorry, folks. My bad. You see this? For 2 weeks straight, except for here. Oh, this is awesome. Down, up. I'm sorry. Up, down, up, down, down. Why did we have down, down? Because of that. And then up, down, up, down. We've had alternating up and down days for 2.5 weeks, except for 2 days in a row. Here's what I'm getting at. I would actually look at a bullish double vertical to tomorrow. Let's not even talk CPI or PPI. That's what I would do. See, I love talking through my personal commit criteria. You can do the exact opposite. I would look at a bullish double vertical for tomorrow. Okay, so let's do that. The 11th. Holy shit, look at this. What is that? 40, 44, $45. Look at the at the money straddle for a day. This is what we are in combat, folks. This is market combat. March 11th. It's $168 tomorrow. Holy shit. And of course, that's not it. Thank you. 56.79. 56.79. 55.10. Hold on. 56.70. 56.80. 55.15. 25. Likes 25s. Let's just go. I mean, obviously the 55.25 is off the chart here. 56.80. 56.80 is back up to here. So the at the money straddle for tomorrow, you know, the down is down here. It's not even on this chart. And then the up is just under 5,700. So I'm going to look at that. I like that. I don't want to jinx us. Like I just said, we had 2 of these last week that worked out. And remember, somebody said last week, support answered them. Remember, folks, like after a brief, I send out an email with the trades we talked about, and hey, go check the replay page with the opening positions. I don't send out an email for closing positions. That's why we have the app. I might just stop sending out the email, man, if there's any confusion. I post all of the opening and closing trades in the Hunters and our Lifetime group, folks. There is no emails for closing trades. And second of all, before you, because somebody wrote like, I got into that trade and then you didn't tell me when to get out and I ended up taking the max loss. That ain't my fault. That's your fault. Before you place a trade, if you don't know when you're getting out, you deserve to get blown out of the sky. Do not place a trade without knowing when you're going to exit for minimum loss or maximum profit, period. Are we clear? I feel like Colonel Nathan Jessup. Are we clear? You are the tick, the trader in command. Let's go. Let's start with the bull put spread first. You know I like 50s or 25s. Let's try that. Does everybody understand that? Because I was like, oh man, dude, that's first of all wrong. You need to fly and fight your own airplane, but we have an app for this. Wow, $1.50. Let's go 25 lower. Let's see if there's premium at 5,500. No. Well, that's because we just broke 5,600. There might be premium in a couple of minutes here at 5,500. So let me put the chart in the background and just show you what I'm looking at here. That's what I'm looking at. We just broke through 5,600, but we might get a little snapback. So let me talk. I'll go. This would be the aggressive bull put spread. Well, not really. Sell the March 11 55.25. Buy the 55.20. Okay, we're flopping around, man. $1.30, $1.40. You're risking 370 to make 130. High probability trade here, folks. Okay. Very high probability trade. I like the risk to reward, 1 to 0.35. Okay. All right. Now that's a credit spread, right? We brought in money to do this. We brought in 130. Who was it wrote me last week? Like instead of doing my double verticals on SPX, they did burner trades. They just bought upside calls, furious amounts of money. So let's start with that first. What did I say? 56.80. Let's go 5,700. Let's look at a 5,700 call tomorrow. I mean, hell, Trump talking today might, trade war is over. Everybody's friends again. You never know. So on your screen right now is what I call a burner trade. Me going down the runway and max afterburner, getting to the fence and going straight up. Unlimited upside. Okay. Risking $1,100 for potentially unlimited profit. Clearly, it'll be limited to what the SPX peaks at or when you close the trade, but obviously it has to say infinite, right? So on your screen, don't forget there's a little camera icon at the top that you're looking at me at. Click camera, so you don't even have to get the email after the brief. You already took screenshots of the trade. That would be the burner trade, okay? The bullish double vertical would look something like this. You would sell an upside call, and I do these 25 wide. So this one, you're risking a lot less, right? You're risking $90. Okay, and let's go look at the metrics. You're risking 620 to make $2,400. We did this 2 times last week. One was risking like 790 and one was like 680 or something, and they both hit max profit in a day or that day, which was awesome. I like this trade. Folks, it's not a gamble. This is a trade. This is a pre-relief rally, up, down, up, down. This is what we've been seeing. This is before the CPI on Wednesday and before the PPI on Thursday, okay? As I'm taking screenshots, let's talk to the guy who said I didn't get a closing trade alert. You ready for this? If you get a violent move in the direction of your double vertical, close the trade. What's your definition of a violent move? It's like pornography. I know it when I see it, folks. But each one of these days, when we place these, the market ripped higher. Close it. One potato, two potato. After we closed them, within like 10 minutes, the markets imploded. I was like, oh, beautiful. Violent move. What's that mean, Wiz? I don't know. 0.5%, on the S&P 500. 2%, no brainer. 2% is incredibly violent. 1.5% to 1, violent. 0.5%. Enough. I'll take some profit. Do you understand that? Thank you, Scott. That's a great point. This was a violent move today to the downside. The S&P is down 3%. That's the definition of a violent move down. You cannot trade off the left side of a chart, right? So when I sat here, let me go show you. When I sat here and did this, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. There's a pattern. There is nothing to say tomorrow's an up. Trump in the Oval Office later, who knows, whatever, man. But I'm a pattern man. This is, first of all, humans are involved. Like, dude, after we've gotten a massive 3% sell-off in the SPOOs or the SPX, we've gotten a snapback the next day. Tomorrow can be the time it doesn't do that. I'm warning you, right? Back to step zero. Don't do anything this week. Too much uncertainty, Wiz. Inflation reports, trade war stuff. I'm sitting on my hands. I love you. I love everybody, but I love you if that's your SOP. Things are going crazy. I'm not even going to sell short calls this week because I'm going to end up getting blown out if inflation comes in cooler. You probably will. Okay. I didn't, I drove up to Palm Beach this morning. I looked at all my positions today. I'm like, I don't know about my short calls this week. So that's where I am. I haven't sold any, or you would have seen me post them. I didn't sell any short calls yet. SIBO, JP Morgan, Amazon, Bank of America, whatever else longs I have. Okay. So that's where I am. You can you can go violent or aggressive short calls at the money if you think we're going lower, or you do your, couple percentage points out of the money if you think Wednesday, Thursday we get some good news, Wiz. But I don't think the economic swamp, folks, is going to help Trump out this week. If I was a purple hair nipple ring economist at the BLS and I saw this, and I saw trade wars, and I saw the joint session of Congress where he said we're a little bit of disruption. Don't worry about it. I would hammer the guy. In our next board meeting at the BLS, I would say, let's go. It's a thing, folks. This happens. Okay. So the BLS, folks, Biden labor statistics. You just saw the Treasury Secretary say that. Hey, it's really funny how during last year and the campaign, we were told everything's great with the economy, but now we needed, now things suck. Thanks, Brent. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. Shameless plug. If you're not microdosing, things are probably a lot worse for you right now. So I just got back from a healing retreat. I held space. I took a little bit of mushrooms to tune in, and it was worth its weight in gold. Now is the shameless plug for Maverick Mind. You should be taking your morning brief. You should be meditating in the morning, being full of gratitude. Thank you for this down market. Whenever something goes wrong, folks, the new whiz asks God, the universe, source, what are you trying to teach me? Not, why are you doing this to me? My God, why have you forsaken me? No. What is the lesson in this? So the lesson in this is I should have listened to Wiz. I definitely will this time. Once things recover and I get some cushion, 50%. Come up with your own ratio. Keep some nuts in the tree, man. Get ready for winter. Market cycles happen, okay? So market's going straight up, I'm okay. Market's going sideways, I'm okay. Market's going imploding, I'm okay. You should focus on trying to get to okay. If you're not, you're trading, your contract size is too big, your max risk per trade is too big. Remember, let's end on this note. I'm sorry I went long. And thanks for your flexibility. You don't need anything, right? You have everything. If you say, I need to make money, it comes from a place of lack. Now you might be lacking money, I get that, but it's the universe responds to energy and frequency. If you're shitty right now, if you're pissed at your portfolio or pissed at Trump or me or whatever, that ain't gonna work, man. Find the lesson in this. The lesson is always be prepared to scoop. If you had 50% cash right now, you are one of the happiest people in the world right now, besides the 16 guys that went on the retreat. Why? Because you're buying this shit at a discount. Amazon on sale. Wiz did a synthetic stock at 245. I got it at 190. I love you for that. I love you anyway. So use these moments, folks. Like I said, I started the brief. I was just up at an addiction retreat center in Palm Beach. It ain't that bad, folks. It can always be worse. Find some gratitude in your suffering and you're making money. That's how you really have a good day. Some of you guys have met my brother Slider. A horrific story until he healed with the medicine, and that's his sentence. Wiz, I am grateful for my suffering. If you can find some gratitude in this, you got it, Mike. That's exactly right. The universe feeds on your energy. If you're exuding gratitude, if you're just, good things happen. If you're in a spin, if you're in a JFK Jr. over the bay, you're gonna tighten and you're gonna spiral out of control. Yeah, just yeah, you can order them on here. Getmaverickmind.com. I would strongly recommend. I'm glad somebody brought that up. If you're not microdosing, you should start. Jim, I don't know. What's the mid market on that thing right now? Anybody get any fills? Hold on. All right, there's people reporting their fills. I have got to post this before I forget. There you go, Arthur. Good lesson learned, shared. Good for you. Hey, don't forget, all right, there's some fills right there, folks. Don't forget, you can leg into your double vertical. Wiz, the pricing's crazy for both spreads. Break them up. Do the bull put spread and do the bull call spread separately. Which one first? It doesn't matter. Put one trade on, put the other trade on. Flip a coin. It doesn't matter. Okay. So take Arthur's advice. Our wise sage. I would absolutely agree with that. New. All right, so I'll blast this out right now. You don't need to sit here and watch me blast this straight out. I will send out an email, but folks, we already talked about when to close these things. You treat a bull put spread 7, 8, 9. You get out at 70, 80, 90% profit, or you eject it, double the credit you took in. Done. That's when you should exit, or whatever your SOP says. Me, with debit spreads, I knew what the risk was. I usually just let those things fly, right? But that's for the loss. For the profit, If I can make 50 to 100% in a debit spread, close it. If I can make 100% on anything, close it. But some people try and squeeze every penny out of a debit spread, man. So you have to come up with your own SOP. But do not ever place a trade ever without knowing when you're getting out. Don't listen to me when I'm flying my own Hornet right now, folks. I can't fly and fight your airplane. So I'm pretty sure I put that into whoever emailed support. Sorry you didn't. You took a 160% profitable trade and let it and got hammered. That is not my fault. Cannot take responsibility for that. Will not take responsibility for that. You should have a trade plan. Wherever your trade plan is, folks, if you need one, email me. I have like 30 trade plans. TGO members send me their trade plans like, hey, can you red team mine or check mine out? I can share trade plans with you, folks. I have my 7-step one, but I have a ton of trade plans. And every one of these trade plans has on there when they're getting out, loss or profit. That's when they fire the trade, after it's all written out. Okay. All right. It's going to be an interesting week, man. It has been an interesting week. But stay centered, full of gratitude. You got a roof over your head. You got internet. You got running water. You're doing better than 95% of the humans on this planet. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you for your flexibility today. Doing some good work trying to help people out. That's how we're going to change the energy on this planet. Okay. Replay posted in, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. God bless. Fights on. Namaste. Get your Maverick mind on, and Basi. I will see you tomorrow for the primary line for trade. Cheers. God bless.